Hello and welcome to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am Sean.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are talking to you all that are 50 and fabulous.
And don't forget handsome.
And we want you to know that we want to get some education happening, some empowerment.
We want to grow with you. We want to learn with you. We want to see what you're doing, 50 and over.
So like, share, comment, follow, subscribe,
grab your
tea. Hey, it's Tea and Cornbread. What's going on, Miss Tracy?
Oh, Sean, lots of going on.
Okay, tell us what's the lots.
Listen, we've been busy and we've been missing in action, but for all good reasons. We had our sneaker ball. You guys have probably already seen the pictures, the videos. What else did we do? Look, I'm drawing a blank. But we stay busy. We stay busy when we doing double dutch and things that are going on in the community and things like that.
So, powering our bodies.
Yes. We love that. Wednesdays nights, North End Rec, 6 to 8. Down.
So what is your what did you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Yesterday, I did my normal routine, and I know people are probably sick of hearing me say this. I got up and I went to the gym.
We shouldn't be sick of it because you are an example of determination, dedication, and consistency.
Yeah, you know that I love the gym. That's my happy place. That's my stress reliever. I would say if you go back a few years, maybe before it was retail, I would go run into the malls when I was feeling some kind of way. I go to the gym, not because I feel any kind of way or what's going on. That is just part of my daily routine. Again, Friday though, Friday I went to Black Game Night. Awesome. And I am going to promote Black Game Night, and I'm going to tell you why. Friday, I think every time I go, it's a different experience. And what I mean by that, we've met some other groups that were there, young men and women. It was just fun time. So much fun. When we went to leave, we forgot to say goodbye to one of the young men. He came running to the door. Hey, y'all gonna leave without saying good day? So come out to Black Game Night with Cheyenne, pint-sized diva.
No.
You see? I knew I had it wrong. That's why I looked at her.
The fun-sized diva.
Come out.
Facebook and check it out at Black Game Night. Is BLAQ Game Night on Facebook and Instagram. I believe on Instagram too. And it's every other week at House of Goats in Waterbury. This week was what? The 24th, right? Yeah, I think it was the 24th. So May 24th. So 2 weeks from here. The next.
But like Sean said, check it out on Instagram.
June 7th.
It's a fun time. It's educational. You'll be stumped because you're gonna think you know all things. There gonna be something you're gonna be like,
I'm gonna do some homework.
Yes. So what you do this weekend?
Man, yesterday was my grandbaby's birthday party. I didn't go, so I don't even know what I'm saying.
So you didn't do that.
I wasn't there. But I was excited for it because we were prepping for it and everything like that.
How old did he turn?
He turned 2. Yeah, he turned 2, and our other one is turning 2 next week. We have 2 that they're 2 weeks apart. So let me see, what else did I do? Oh, I was down south. So I was down south in the woods and having a great time because it was peaceful. So I didn't really do much this week. It was, my heart was heavy this week because it was so many funerals. And I wasn't here to go to any of the funerals. But so those that are out there, we are praying for your families. Those that know what we're talking about. The families, they were just, it was heartbreaking. But so I just stayed in prayer for those families. Hoping that they understand that God is in control, and that I prayed for their peace and solace, and
we just send our love. We do. We send our love.
Yes. What else?
You know what else? I'm going to say something. I said I did a lot. I went to Aruba.
Oh yes.
You talking about peace?
Hold on. You went to Aruba. That's bad. Yes, look at that. Isn't that cool? And I am using it. This is not a dust collector.
That is so pretty
in there right now. And I got tea. I got tea from my herbs in the garden.
Yeah, we have tea.
Yes,
My cup is
mint.
a little bit different, but
Yes,
we have tea.
mint and lemon balm. That's what I took out of the garden today. So,
Some.
with some ginger, we added ginger and a squeeze of lemon.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
she went to Aruba.
I went to Aruba.
Look
All I'm gonna say is
how tan she is. Look at that. She is glowing.
when I left here, United States,
When I left here, United States,
I did not think about work. I did not think about nothing personal. It was just a great time. The people there were awesome. And I know what somebody's gonna say, oh, that's what they're supposed to do, make you come back. Even off the resort, everybody was wonderful. So I say that to say, even if you don't go to Aruba, take some time for yourself at the end of the day. You need it. If it's just a long weekend, if it's just, by yourself, if it's with a group of friends, family, get away. Take care of you. That's what I wanted to say. Had such an enjoyable time. I will go back again by myself. That's how good the trip was. Not because of any, that's just how good the trip was. That's how safe I felt. That's one of the places I think I could independently go. Yeah.
Yes. With the divvy tree.
There you go.
That's it. Okay.
That's the hotel to say that. No, I'm not.
All right. There you go. There you go. We can talk about it.
We know. Okay.
All right. So, all right. So now we're gonna do our breathing.
Yes.
And our devotional. And then we're gonna get into the topic today. Lay our feet flat, sit straight up. And inhale our intent for today's conversation. And exhale all that doesn't serve us. So we use clarity. Clarity seems to be my favorite.
Yeah.
We use that a lot. Opens up your mind, your brain. Like if you saw me squinting, that's because it's really strong and my nostrils is just like wide open now.
This tea is really good.
It's really good. It's mint out of my garden. It's regular peppermint and the other one is spearmint and ginger and a squeeze of lemon. Oh, and lemon balm. That's another thing out of my garden. Lemon balm.
Go, Sean.
Okay. So we had asked on our live on Instagram, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Okay?
Yes.
And we asked, if there was any topics or whatever. So shout out to Helen Taylor. Helen gave us a topic.
Our first question.
Yeah. So tell us what the first question.
Helen Taylor sent in a question and we wanted to address it. The question was, how do we talk to our women? What the question was, how do we uplift our women from poverty to avoid government assistance? So our take on that, we'll get into that. We're not going to sit here and say that we're professionals and that we have all the answers. We could speak a little bit of our own experience with the system. But one of the things that we both kind of do agree upon is you have to, again, I said it earlier, take care of self first. At the end of the day, sometimes we get trapped into, if you do X, you're going to end up like this. Or if you do A, you're going to end up like this. Don't listen to that. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things we came, some of the stuff that we talked about is probably us being open, being, woman of a certain age, talking to women that may be younger than us, that just may be starting off life, that may be teenagers in their 20s. And I'm not going to cap it at that because everybody has different situations that they go through and we don't know when or what or why.
Okay. But before we go into the conversation, I want to bring up some statistics.
Okay.
And then that way we can flow into the conversation. So there's, we are talking about statistics. So specifically Black women make up less than 10% of the US population. So when the question was again, how do we uplift
Uplifting.
women
From poverty
from
to
poverty,
avoid government assistance.
yes, from poverty and to avoid government assistance. And so just I want to start up with a great statistic, right?
Yes.
So we as Black women, we make up less than 10% of the US population, but we have merged as the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
And that is from new research from GoDaddy. And the number of Black women businesses in the US was trending upward even before COVID, which accelerated the entrepreneurship overall. So between 2017 and 2020, the number of Black-owned businesses increased by nearly 20%, far exceeding the growth of women-owned businesses and Black-owned businesses overall.
Yes.
All right. And so I wanted to say that so that makes you feel like it's possible.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That
Yes.
it's possible.
And we matter. Listen to those
yes.
statistics.
Go ahead.
We got to do our research, you know, and this is what we do. We go out and we do our research and we don't listen to the negativity that we always hear.
Right.
These are positive numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And just what really sticks out to me is the percentage, the increase from 2017 to 2020. And prior to COVID, this was prior to COVID going on. Yeah. That's very important. So that just lets you know that we're out there, we're doing things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you set your mind to. I know you hear it all the time. It's possible. Listen to the statistics Sean just went over.
And some of the reasons why is because it's some of the reasons why we as women, and I'm going to say we because we're women, right?
Right.
Are maybe in poverty or are on government assistance is because of poor health. You know, poor health, it reduces the ability to earn income and is the key factor in perpetuating household poverty. So that's your health. Like you said at the beginning of this, it's taking care of self.
You got to take care of self.
Increase in health services to women. Okay. So when we think about that, and, you know, we're always talking about health and wellness. We're always talking about, you know, how do we become empowered or, you know, and things like that. Pause. We did not read our devotional.
We didn't. We didn't. But it's okay. See, we're going to read it. This is live. I was going to say, this is what it is. Yeah. This is live. Yeah. This is not rehearsed. So, catch. I am reading from Jesus' Calling. Today is May 26th. It says, in a world of unrelenting changes, I am the one who never changes. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Find in me the stability for which you have yearned. I created beautifully ordered world, one that reflected my perfection. Now, however, the world is under the bondage of sin and evil. Every person on this planet faces a gaping jaw of uncertainty. The only antidote to this poisonous threat is drawing closer to me. In my presence, you can face uncertainty with perfect peace. So remember, you got to stay close to him. You got to get up and pray. And if you got to pray several times throughout the day, that's what you have to do. But you have to also put him first. And you heard what it said. Nobody is without sin. Nobody is without ups and downs. And we say it all the time, hills and valleys. We all go through it. And that's something you have to remember.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you for that. But, you know, back to the question. So I'm going to read it so that you know exactly what the question is. The topic, rather, uplifting women from poverty, how to avoid government assistance.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think in a nutshell, too, it's a great question. It definitely is a great question, but from a personal experience, and we're not going to drag this on either. There may come a time in someone's life. There was a time in my life, I was a young teenage mom and I needed assistance, you know. It was there, and sometimes it's needed. What we don't want to see is us depending on it for the rest of our lives. We don't want to see us raising our children on it because, as Sean said earlier, it starts with your health. It starts how we're able to go into a grocery store, the things that we're able to buy, the things that we're able to eat or afford. Everybody says it costs so much money to eat healthy. This is what we have to learn. Mm-hmm. These are things that we have to learn. Once we learn to do better, we will do better. Absolutely. The bottom line. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I just wanted to touch upon that. Sometimes it's there, it's needed. We should utilize it. But one thing again, and I think I said it earlier, I think we need to keep talking to each other. I think we need to have those sister groups. We have our sister group, our family group, and we are women of a certain age. And when I say that, we grew up together, kindergarten. We're now in our 50s, younger, right? We just always, exactly. And we're very thankful and grateful to have that. I was looking at something the other day that says if you have a relationship with someone in your life that has lasted, I don't even know, maybe it was 10, 12 years, that you are blessed. And I just kind of sat back and laughed. And I said, well, what about 30, 40, 50 years? Right. So I say that to say, I think we have to talk more. We, as women of a certain age and that have experienced life, need to touch the lives of the younger generation. I think that we try to do it. And I'll speak for myself. I think sometimes we do fall off. Mm-hmm. We also want you to empower yourself, educate yourself. You don't always have to accept what someone else says to you or about you. I can be judgmental and I could look at you and say, I think this and about you. Don't settle for that. You know who you are. You are a strong, independent young woman. So my thing would be, one, to educate yourself before you go running to the system. Utilize your resources. And when I say your resources, your mom, your dad, your aunties, sometimes it's your neighbor. You don't know who that hand may be that can assist you or help you get to that next step in life. What do you think, my dear? You was on the roll.
So, when we talk about our experiences, my experiences, yes, I was a teenage mom too. I had my son at 19. I was in my own apartment at 19. My apartment was subsidized. And I couldn't believe it. My rent was like $80-something a month. Now we're talking almost 40 years. My son is 37. And so, you needed it. I needed it at that time. You know what I mean? I was just starting my career as you all know, I'm a hairdresser. And I knew as a child that I wanted to be my own boss. I knew as a child that I wanted to be a hairdresser, right? And so, but that didn't mean I didn't work for anybody ever in my life. I did, but starting out at 19, how much money was I making at 19? I was working at retail, making $3 and some change, And so I did. I took government assistance. I was in subsidized housing, which, people call it the projects or whatever. But let me tell you, it was a great stepping stone, and got into my career. I worked like a mad dog. I wasn't even in that apartment 2 years, and we bought our first house, and all of that. Right. And you just have to do what you have to do to get to where you have to go. Mm-hmm. And when you stay persistent in knowing what you want and how you're getting there, right? So you think about, what are your dreams? When we talk about how can you, get out of poverty and mm-hmm. things like that. And that's why I want to read that statistics that we are the fastest growing entrepreneurs, right? And so, and I've been an entrepreneur basically all my life, but I've worked other jobs in conjunction with, I always had 2 jobs or 3 jobs and things like that, even with owning my own salon. And I worked in the salon for a long time. And so when you think about what are your dreams, mm-hmm. Don't think you're too old for your dreams. If somebody says, it doesn't make sense, why would you want to go and do this or do that? Don't listen to them. Definitely. Find people that will, that will encourage you. Yeah, that will encourage you. If you have a hobby, I know so many people that knit, they make their own hats and scarves. Mm-hmm. And, I know people that sew. People that braid, you don't need a license to braid, not in Connecticut anyway.
Oh,
You don't
really?
need a license, no. If you braid and things like that, what are the things that you do that are hobbies that you can monetize?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And people go, well, I just like to make it, and I don't want to do it. It's going to become a job, right? You still can do it without it feeling like a job, right?
But if it's a
But
job that you like or
it's
love,
yours though.
yes,
Because guess what? We put
yes,
that energy into going to
to a
work,
9 to 5, working for
right?
someone else.
Working for someone else, making
Yes.
sure you're on time, making sure that you hit whatever goals they have for you,
Mhm.
because you didn't set a goal for yourself.
Exactly.
They say, the goal for this quarter
Mhm.
is this.
She's right.
And all of us as a team have to work towards this goal. Tracy may have a part in, you may have a part in the goal that is different from my part, but working on these individually is going to help the company, which is not yours.
It's not yours. You don't own it.
You don't own it. And the company tells you how much they're going to pay you.
Mhm.
You don't have
Any control over
you don't
that.
have no control over that.
So,
So when you are self-employed, you have
Mhm.
control over your income, you have control over what you do, how you do it. And what I find is a lot of people that go out on their own, they don't put in the same energy they would for someone else's company. So you have to stay motivated
Mhm.
to work every day on your company the same way
Yes.
you would punch a clock for someone else.
Right.
And those goals, right? So that's just one of the things that I think about. And I do, you know what I mean? Like I'm a workaholic, right? I gotta change that word.
Yeah, because that's
I don't
not,
want to be.
you don't want to be a workaholic.
I'm not.
But I think too, I do think that's the wrong word, because I do
Right.
think that you
It
working
doesn't
for
feel good.
yourself is a wonderful thing, and you're working on things that you like. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to remember to tell people: do what you like, do
Right.
what feels good and makes you happy, do what makes you want to get out the bed in the morning.
Exactly. That
I don't want
Right.
to wake up tomorrow morning, like I'm going to bed Sunday night, and I don't want to be worrying about tomorrow. I got to do this, like Sean just said, I got to meet quotas, I got to do this. Do what makes you feel good, that makes you want to put your feet on that ground, thank
Exactly.
God, and say,
and
I'm
you
gonna
may
get it
have
today.
you may have that dream job where
Right,
that can
right.
happen too. But to get there, you have to
Mhm.
know what you want. You have to have a vision. You have to know what it's going to take for you to get to that point. So education is key,
Mhm.
right? Finding out the how to become that professional, whatever that is. What classes do you need to take? What education do you need to do? And thank God for the internet now too. You know what I
Right.
mean? So there's a lot of things that you can find on your own, researching and finding out, and then implementing. So that's the other thing too. We know so many people that do so much research. We research,
What's the next step?
research,
Utilize it.
right? And we don't put an action into
Yeah.
it. So that's just like when you started going to the gym. I always use the analogy of you going to the gym. When you start going to the gym, you go, you have it in your mind, I'm going every day.
Right.
But when you start off, you don't get there every day.
No.
Right? But if you just keep doing it,
Mhm.
and getting up no matter what, out that bed no matter what.
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight and you know what it takes to lose weight, you have to start with an action step.
You set those goals.
Right. And if you want to, say for instance, you've been working in banking all your life. You've been a bank teller, right? That's a career. Some people like that. Some people want that to be a
Right.
career. But then you decide, you know what, I want more. What is that more? Find out. If more means climbing up the ladder in the bank that you're starting off as a teller, that's a great place to start. Then starting at the top, because at least you know what the
Exactly.
teller's job is. Because
Yep.
without the teller, then you can't do
You
anything
can't move to the
else.
next step.
You can't move
You
to the
take
next
that
step.
with you. I think conversation too. You got to have conversations with people. Like Sean said, the internet is a great resource, but I think that human connection, you sitting
Absolutely.
and talking to people,
Absolutely.
is
Talk to
definitely,
your
that
boss.
is also very, very important.
Yep.
Rubbing elbows with those people, attending different meetings,
Yeah.
and not even just in the workforce. How about outside of the workforce? See what's going on in your community, see what's going on in your town that you may be interested in. The funny thing is, we don't do that research, and we hear about things sometimes after the fact, or when you do rub elbows with somebody, you say to them, well, how did you get involved? Or how did you know?
Ask the question.
Yes, it's okay to do that.
Ask a question.
Yes.
I'm telling you that people don't like me coming sometimes because I go, what do you do? How do you know? And what does that mean? Especially
No,
with something
you
I've
have
never
to
heard
ask
of
questions.
before. It's like,
Yeah.
what is that? Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting, you know, and listen more than you talk. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because you want to learn.
Right.
And if you're in a career or at a place and you like your workplace,
Right.
that's another thing too. Liking your workplace is very important.
Mhm.
If you do not like your workplace, you gotta find another way,
find
right?
it happy. You do.
Because I don't believe in I don't believe in waking up dreading to go to work.
Right.
I don't believe that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That because it's not going to be productive.
It's not.
You know.
It's not.
So find out with your boss. You know, what are the opportunities?
Mhm.
You may not even know that there is a ladder you can climb in your workforce or whatever. But the thing is, the point is,
Yeah.
know what you like.
Mhm.
If you have a dream, what is that dream? What will it take to monetize your dream? And then what is your hobby? Do you have a hobby?
Right.
Can you monetize your hobby? Have you ever been paid for your hobby? You know what I mean? And know that you are worthy of getting out of that situation. Everybody does not start off
At the top.
At the top. Everybody does not start off with a silver spoon.
Exactly.
I used to tell my kids all the time, our spoons are wood. Okay. You did not grow up with a silver spoon.
Yes.
But at the same time, you empower your kids
Mhm.
to know that they can be anything that they want to be. But
Definitely.
you want to show them that it's possible.
Mhm.
Because we always say, don't be like me. Don't be like your father. Don't be like
Right.
this, that, and the other. I want you to be more. And I
Yep.
want you
I want
to
you to be
that,
better.
I want you to be better.
And you do want
have
your
to
children
show
to be
them,
better.
right?
You do want your children to be better.
But you got to show them
there's a path.
Yeah, that
these are the steps that I have taken.
Right.
These are the foundations that I've laid out. You know, you have to be vulnerable, I think, too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to let your guard down.
Mhm.
Like Sean says, she thinks that people get upset when she asks questions. And hopefully that's not true. Because I think whenever you're in a setting, you should always be open to questions, always open to learn. In my position, in my job that I work, I'm a trainer and a coach. So it's kind of like being a teacher.
Mhm.
At first it was very intimidating, and she knows the story. I'm starting to see that how important my job is.
Yeah.
At
But
teaching
tell them how
people.
long you've been, and tell them how long you've been working for the company. You know what I mean?
I've been with the company 37 years.
Yeah, but
and that's a blessing. Not in the same position. That is totally a blessing because you don't see that.
company. So
I've been with the
means
company.
you moved,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
here you are now training people.
That
means you have an expertise.
Yes. Yes.
Know your position.
Right.
Know the information
Right.
well enough to teach
someone.
Exactly.
But it goes both ways too. Even though I sit in that position of being a trainer and being a coach, I learn from them also. There's times where they have questions or situations that I have to say, okay, I need to take that away. And that's okay. What you never want to do is try to pretend you know the answer and give wrong information. So, a part of, back to the question of how we stay off of government assistance, be open. Be vulnerable. Ask questions, definitely. And if you don't know the answer, or if you're not clear, if I explain something or Sean explains something and you're not understanding it, it's okay to raise your hand and say, hey, could we sidebar?
Exactly.
I didn't quite understand, or could you give me a demo?